Voice of Johnson County, JOCO Community Radio.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to JOCO Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be here and a part of JOCO Community Radio, a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective. Proudly serving communities like Johnson and Tarrant County. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Check us out. You can check out our lineup and more at tuneinjoco.com. We thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our communities. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorney at law. Use code JOCO24 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com. And join the Swipe Nation today and save your credit card processing at swipenationusa.com. Locally owned and operated by Tiffany at jococommunityradio.com. You can get rates as low as $50 a month, so check it out. Well, Jobfather Nation, we're excited to be here. Let's go ahead and bow our heads for a quick word of prayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Father God, we're just honored and privileged to be here. Please help us to honor you in serving the job seeker community. Open doors of opportunity for the job seeker community, Lord God, and use us to bring wisdom and knowledge forth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, job seeker community, we're excited to be here. We've got a great show today. With that being said, we'll let Foster do the intros in just a minute. Plus, we have a dad joke coming up. But first, keep your Jobfather Nation community in mind. You can go to search for you, our wonderful Meg Rose Caterio, who we couldn't do the show without, continues to put up different websites and different things we're referring to in the chat. So thank you, Mez. We couldn't do it without you. Keep us in mind. You're able to announce and advertise your openings on the Jobfather. You can go to search for you, Foster's website, and help empower the job seeker community and the volunteer work Foster does by donating. Please keep that in mind. It is a blessing, and it helps Foster to further the job seeker community, open doors of opportunity. In addition, if you need someone to help you fill a job, who better than yours truly, the Jobfather? He knows everyone nationwide, and guess what? We're heard internationally.
And Dana knows who I don't know.
That's right. We're a team. So with that being said, Foster, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know we have a wonderful guest, some announcements, and a dad joke at the half.
Yeah, we had a good time yesterday at South Lake Focus Group. So let me see if I remember everybody. Yvette Zimmerman. Hey, Yvette, congratulations. You landed a recruiter job. Dana, she's like us. She's a recruiter.
Yeah.
And Meredith Baker landed and Laura McCall landed. So, all of these people are coming out of our volunteer crew at South Lake Focus Group. So all of you guys that are listening, hey, you might want to volunteer at South Lake Focus Group because it's for some reason we lose volunteers, and a couple of times we lose a couple of leaders sometimes too. So you guys don't lose us. You get a job and you don't get rid of me. So Tiffany Paisley, are you ready? Tiffany is my Tiffany grades me, Dana, on my dad jokes. So if I can make you guys laugh, Tiffany will give me a grade from 1 to 10 or something. However she wants to grade me, I'll accept it. So are you ready? So here we go. So what did ML say to his wife when he got her the wrong kind of flowers for her birthday? Oops-a daisy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Tiffany, what do you think about that? What do I get? 1 to 10 on that? What do I get?
3. Just kidding.
No doubt. I see Dustin Williams is with me, and Dustin got the same last name, so he's cool. And look at there. There's Mez is with us. Mez is always with us. Guys, Mez is our Flavor Flav on this show. She is our hype lady. And Tiffany can't, she says she can't joke. John Robinson. Good morning, John Robinson. Okay. That is cool. And Jody Hudson, good morning. ML, I'm hoping that Gene usually jumps on here with us. So I sent the fellas a mass text a while ago and told them that you were going to be on the show today.
That might have been a mistake, Foster.
That might have been a mistake. I don't know. All right. So, guys, here's what's cool. We got ML Washington with us today. You guys have heard him before. There's a whole sector of jobs out there that are federal jobs, that are government jobs, and it operates a little bit differently from what we're used to in the secular industry. We're looking at the corporate jobs, and we got ML who formulated the Federal Employment Training Center. Now, ML is certified, guys. I think there's maybe only 2 to 3 people in the whole United States that are certified in doing what ML does. So me and ML been friends for probably 20 years, and we even ride around. We get barbecue in different places. That's got to be part of the Foster thing. Food is included. So, ML, tell us a little bit about it, and then I'm going to ask you some questions that you get asked all the time from job seekers and stuff. Tell us a little bit about your world. Introduce us a little bit about the government stuff.
Well, good morning, everybody. And I just want to thank Foster and Dana for having me on here. Once again, my name is M.L. Washington, and I'm the founder and the CEO of the Federal Employment Training Center. Now, the Federal Employment Training Center is a small business that's located here in Fort Worth, Texas, but we travel all over the United States helping people get into the federal government. I'm a retired senior NCO from the United States Air Force. And I found out back in my younger days, people was having a hard time getting into the federal government. At that time, I worked for the federal government. So I started with my church of training people how to get into the federal government. One client led to another client, and next thing you know, I'm traveling all over the world doing this here. The federal government has plenty of jobs for qualified people. One of the frustration things is trying to get into the application procedures. And that's what we've done with my company. We'll take that frustration away. And I have a simple 3 hour of training that I do on Zoom that'll simply show everybody how to apply for a federal government job, how to answer the questions to make sure you qualify. Now, to qualify for a federal government job, you must have at least a minimum on 1 year experience. So that doesn't mean you're going to qualify for every job, okay? And that's okay. Every job is not for you. But the people that are qualified, we try to help them get into the federal government job.
You made a good point, ML, because I want our job seekers to know, and you guys heard me at South Lake Focus Group tell you guys yesterday, hey, you know what? We're all looking for a job, and we got that pressure on us to get a job, and the money ain't flowing in, but the bills are, you know. But guys, every job out there is not the right one for you. So when we find a job, or some recruiter calls us about a job or something like that, we want to try to use our network and find out what we're getting ourselves into with that job. What's going on? Why is this job open? All kinds of stuff like that. But the federal government opportunities are out there, and in this training that ML's telling you about, it'll teach you a lot about how to apply for those particular jobs that are out there. And ML, I think it's still the same. The federal government does not have a long history of laying people off, don't they?
Well, that's one thing about the federal government. We have a joke like if you can make it through the first year, you can make it to probation, then you're pretty much in there, to get the paperwork to get you out. We probably would have to call FedEx in if we wanted to move you out and over day. It takes that much paperwork to get you out of the federal government once you're in. So the key is getting in. And normally you do a 1 year probation or a 2 year probation. And once you get in, you're pretty much locked in.
ML, do people have to have a degree to work in the federal government?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, Foster, because these are some of the questions that I get when I go out there. You do not have to have a degree to apply for the federal government, but we do have degree jobs. And a lot of people think because they get a master's degree or bachelor's degree, they can come and get in the federal job making six figures. Reality, it doesn't work that way. You still must have the qualification. Most of the people that apply for a federal government job, they have 5 to 10 years experience. Your degree help in some jobs that you're applying for, like doctor, lawyer, vocational rehabilitation counselor. But what you need is you must have specialized experience. What is that? Either volunteer or paid experience over 1 year that you got working in the job to qualify for the position, paid or volunteer.
Uh-huh. Now I know because I've been around you for so long. I heard you talking. People that have been in the armed services have big advantage, and I think even spouses can benefit from their spouses being in the armed forces, right?
Well, that's a good question, Foster. I'm glad you asked me that. Yes, if you're a veteran, we have veteran preference when you're applying for a federal government job. We have what we call 30%, we have 5 points, and we have 10 points. We also have preference for civilian that have a disability. It's called Schedule A. Schedule
Uh-huh.
A is someone that has a disability that's recognized by the Workforce Solution Vocation Rehabilitation Service. Now, if you have a spouse that served in the military and they 100% disabled, then that spouse can use him or her benefits to get into the federal government. But the key to that is the spouse that's 100% disabled must not be able to work. In other words, they must be unemployed. Then you can use their benefits.
I see. Now I remember because we're talking with our brother Will about getting 100%. What's the difference between the percentages or more that a veteran and maybe a Schedule A person? What's Schedule A person? What's all that stuff?
Okay, see, we're talking about two different benefits. When we're
Hmm.
talking about benefits where you can use benefits towards personal house, paying your taxes, you have to be a 100% disabled veteran to get those benefits. But when
Hmm.
we talk about benefits 30 to 100% rated, that's dealing with preference for his job in the federal government, military, 30%, 100% rating, you get preference on applying for a job. If you're a civilian and you have a disability, you will use a Schedule A letter. In the federal government, we use what we call an SF-15. That's
Uh-huh.
a letter that lets the HR person know that you're a person with a disability and you're getting paid through the Veteran uh, Administrative Veteran Benefit Administration, and let you know that it lets the HR person know that you qualify for these benefits and you have preference on jobs.
Okay, okay. We have a man. It is really, if you have been in armed services, you really want to look into some of these government jobs. It sounds like. So, how long does it take to? What's the process? How long does it take to obtain a government
Oh,
job?
Foster, that's a $100 million question right there. How
And our
long does
boy
it take
Gene
to
is
get
with
in the
us.
federal government? Yeah. Okay. Well, how long does it take to get in the federal government? Well, that depends on the job and the agency. Some jobs are filled really, really fast, and some jobs it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days to fill.
Uh-huh.
Now, a lot of people ask me the question, well, Mr. Washington, can I work at home? Yes, the federal government right now, since the COVID, they're really letting a lot of people work at home. We call that remote position. Now, not all jobs in the federal government are remote, but there are some jobs that you can work straight from home, and it's up to the hiring agency that hires you.
Uh-huh. So we can do some remote opportunity. Well, that makes sense. I mean, the whole world changed after COVID, and so did some of these government opportunities. Yeah. So our
One
man
another
Gene.
question, Foster, that people want to know.
Uh,
Hey, Foster, one another question that people want to know is what type of jobs do we have in the federal government?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
real loaded question. We have the same jobs in the federal government that you have on the outside. They may be different job titles, but they same job. If you got a civilian police officer on the outside and you want to be a police officer in the federal government, we have regular police officers. We have a secret service. We
Oh,
have
wow.
federal police. So we have the same jobs you have on the outside, we have them in the federal government. They may have different job titles.
Yeah, ML was a military. If I remember correctly, you were a military, but you were MP, weren't you? Military police.
Retired, retired Air Force security police. Be careful. Military
Oh,
police, that's Army.
oh,
Air
that's
Force is
Army.
security police.
You was
But we
still
all
popo.
brothers. We all brothers and sisters. We okay. We
You
good
was
with it.
still popo. I ain't gonna mess with you.
Yes, sir.
Our
And a
boy
lot of
Gene is
guys.
with us. ML. Did you see him
Well,
on the
hello,
screen?
Gene. I haven't
Yeah,
seen him yet, but I'm sure he'll be talking to me later.
yeah.
But
We
you know, if Yeah. If you've been a policeman in the military, a lot of guys that serve 4 to 6 years in the military, that's what they do. They do 4 or 6 years in the military and they get out and become a local police. And we want to thank them for that because the military had trained them, put a lot of money and training into them. And when they get out of the military, they take that training and they come out here in the community and help us out. And we want to thank the young men and the young ladies for doing that.
Oh, yeah, we do. Big time. So, do degrees help you get a job faster? That kind of situation in the military, and not in the military, in the federal government, ML?
Well, once again, I tell people it depends on the job. If it's a degree job, yes, you must have that degree. But if it's not a degree job, federal government is based on your experience. If you have the experience, then we want to hire you. Example, if a person just graduated with a bachelor's degree in HR, but you got a person that's been working in HR for 4 or 5 years, that person that's been working in HR for 4 or 5 years is most likely to get hired than the person just got out with the bachelor's degree because they have the experience that the federal government is looking for.
Nice. So they will hire people that aren't already past security clearance and haven't worked for the federal government before.
Well, that's a good question, Dana. Security clearance still depends on the job because you can get a job with no security clearance. It's just depending on what you're doing. But if you get a job and you're handling $100,000 every day, then yes, you're probably going to have a background check and make sure your security clearance. Security clearance depends on the job. And that's a good question, Dana, because a lot of times when young ladies and young guys get out of the military, if they have a top secret clearance, they think that would help them get in the job. And in some cases, it will, but not in all cases. It depends.
Okay.
If you're going to work for the CIA or you go and work for the Secret Service and you have a top security clearance, yes, that probably would help you get in a whole lot faster.
So, those pay grades, let's talk a little bit about the pay grades, ML, because, a lot of people that are listening to us have never worked or never even considered working for the federal government. And if they're used to a certain level of pay, how can they find out what pay grade or what jobs they need to apply for to get the type of money that they're used to getting into their homes?
Okay. What they would need to do is go to USA Jobs, USAJOBS.OPM. OPM stands for Office of Personnel Management. And on that page, they have the pay scale. Now, the primary pay scale that we look at is GS. That stands for General Schedule. The other pay scale is called WG, which is wage grade. But I'll give you an example. If you come in as a GS7, step 1. Now, we have 10 steps to each job. But if you come in as step 1 as a GS7, they start out at $50,652. If you come in as a GS11, step 1, they start out at $74,961. So pay is really good. And the thing about it, each grade, you normally come in as a step 1, but we have 10 steps. So you can stay in that same grade and go all the way up to 10 steps, or you can move to a higher grade. So when you're looking at your pay, you basically want to look at what you're getting on the civilian side and compare that pay to what you'll get in the federal government. Normally, I'll be honest with you, normally the federal government pays a whole lot more than what you're going to be making on the civilian side if it's below 6 figures.
That's right.
That is amazing. Yeah. So what would you say to our listeners if they're interested in investigating or evaluating some of these opportunities for the government? What would you recommend they start doing? Where do they go? How do they go about looking up these roles and determining if, they are in fact qualified and should apply?
That's a good question, Dave. I'm glad you asked that. The first thing I would recommend that you do is you go to USA Jobs, USAJOBS.gov. That is the official site of the federal government job. Start looking and see what kind of job they have in there for you. For example, if you're a program manager or you're a program coordinator, we have over 150 program managers, over 150 program coordinators. So what you want to do, you want to click on program manager, then you want to read the duty description. Is it talking about what you do? If it talks about what you do, then you want to possibly apply for the job. Look at the
Yeah.
amount of money you're making. If you're entry level, you're gonna make low. If you got 5 to 10 years experience, you're gonna come in at higher.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so the best thing I do, for example, if I was looking for a police officer with the federal government, first thing I do is go to usajobs.gov. I put in police officer, and I wouldn't put in any city. And then all the police would come up over all the United States. And then you would look and say, okay, do I want to move to Washington? Do I want to move to Kansas City? Or do I want to stay right here in Dallas, Texas? So
Right.
now you got an idea. If I move to Kansas City, I can make this amount of money. If I stay here in Dallas, I can make this amount of money. That's if you can move. Not everybody can move. Some people married, got a new house,
Right.
kids still in school.
Kids in school.
If you can move, you can increase your chances about 75% of getting a federal government job. But not everybody can move. So the first step is see what kind of job they have out there for you. See what your qualification is. And remember, you're going to be competing against people that have 5 to 10 years experience looking for the same job as you. The higher the money is, the more the harder the competition is. Competition get tough as the money goes up.
Yeah, those GS11s and what does it go up to GS12? Is that
We
where
go
it
all the way
goes?
up to GS15.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so normally 13, 14s, and 15s are normally supervisors, directors, or lead people. Normally the federal government don't hire supervisors, directors, and lead people from outside. Normally they promote them within. So if you're looking for a job and you just got out of college or you got 5 to 10 years experience, I recommend that you concentrate on the GS9, GS11, and GS12.
Now here's a somebody asked, maybe it was Jody that asked this question, but email somebody asked earlier, is there a age limit? Now that's that's a loaded question. Is there an age limit to applying for federal jobs?
Ooh, good
Well, that's
question.
another good question. That's another good question, Foster. And that's the best thing about working for the federal government. Number one, you must be 18 to apply for a federal government job, but you could be 99 and still work for the federal government. Matter of fact, right now, we got a lot of people that are retired that are actually coming back to work for the federal government. Okay. So once you get in the federal government, unless you're in law enforcement, now law enforcement, you got to retire at a certain age because the stress in law enforcement. But if you're working in any other position, you can stay there as long as you can work. I know people right now that's anywhere between 72 and 76 that's still working for the federal government.
Oh man, so I got a chance, huh? Would you help me get a
Got a
job?
chance, Foster. We'll stick you in there. Got a chance.
I see my buddy Dr. Susan Hanold is with us. Good morning, Susan. Tell Jonathan hello. He's probably traveling, but that is so cool to have you with us. Thanks. And my man Jason Hopper, Dana, Jason is with us. Jason said he had a client. He got there a little bit late. And Jason, guys, is a coach over at Jewish Family Services over in Dallas. I think if you're in job search, you probably want to go to jfsdallas.org and just check it out. There are a lot of services over there. You do not have to be Jewish, y'all. It's a Jewish Family Service, but they're there. There it is. Mez, thanks for putting that link in the chat. You don't have to be Jewish, guys, to get services at Jewish Family Service. I get asked that question all the time. Gina Patton is with us too. Hey, Gina. All right. Gina, I need to introduce you to ML because there might be an opportunity there for you. That's what we're here for, to get this information out to you guys. So ML, before we go away, is there anything that you think that we haven't covered that you'd like to cover about the government sector?
Well, one of the other main things that we come up with is we started talking about salary, and people want to know, can they negotiate their salary once they get hired by the federal government? When the federal government offers you a job, at that particular time, you can discuss your salary. Now, if you sign on the dotted line, it's a little too late. Will they give you the salary that you're asking for? It depends on the agency. Number one, it depends on how you interview. Number two, depends on your resume, what's on your resume. Number three, and then the most important thing, it depends on if they have it in the budget. Okay, because all government jobs are based on budget. So if I just have enough money in the budget to bring in the GS9, that's all I can bring in. But if I have a little extra money and you do good on your interview, your resume look good, you got 5 to 10 years experience, I might want to bring in another $5, $6, $2,000 more. But
I'll
once
let you
again,
too.
salary depends on the agency. You are able to negotiate your salary with the agency before accepting the job.
All right, all right. That sounds good. I think it was Tiffany Pace that said, "Hey, you have renewed my interest in the federal government." And guys, you have at certain time classes, don't you, ML, that people that are interested in maybe a federal government can get some information by taking your classes?
Once, yeah, but once again, because of the COVID, we do all the training now on Zoom.
Oh,
If
that's
you want to,
nice.
Oh, good.
yeah, we do
Uh-oh,
all the training on Zoom.
it's
If you
commercial
go to my
time. I hear
website,
us going. We're gonna go away. We don't mean to be mean, ML, but it's time to go to commercial, and we'll have you back. You're not going anywhere.
See
You're
you
my
in a
buddy.
second.
We'll see you guys.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. Welcome back to the second half of our show. We are so excited to be here. We had a great first half with MJ. And just a reminder, we are proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, a member of EMG. And EMG, which is very exciting, is a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving communities like Johnson and Tarrant County. Mm-hmm. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. You can log on to our radio station app, check out the lineup and more, listen to the Jobfather, yours truly, on the app or at tuneinjoco.com. We are really grateful for our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our communities. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorneys at law. Use code JOCO2024 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com. And join the Swipe Nation today and save on your credit card processing. This is all locally owned and operated.
Yep,
Don't
that's the good
hesitate.
part.
Go to jococommunityradio.com to get rates as low as $50 a month. Well, we are super excited. We have a great second half planned. As you know, there's a lot of opportunity in the government sector. Don't hesitate to, even if you haven't worked for the government before, to check out the website that MJ mentioned that Mez put up in the chat. Now, before we hop into the second half and we introduce our fabulous guest, Foster has another dad joke. Let's hope it's better than the first half. No.
All right, let's try it out. And Tiffany, you gotta grade me, girl. You're the joke grader. You know, before I even tell the joke, I'm excited. We've got HR Heidi with us. We got Jennifer Edwards. All of these are Nakaiya's friends. And that's pretty cool. And Tom Champ is with us. And Nakaiya, uh, Jennifer Blocker just sent me a text and said she's driving around in the car and listen, she said she's proud of you. So you
Thank
have
you.
a fan club. My goodness. So, okay, let me tell you guys the second half of the show, dad joke. So I was walking in the city last night and I passed a slice of apple pie, a hot fudge sundae, and a piece of lemon cheesecake. And it was strange. The streets were just strangely deserted.
Now, that one's a little bit funnier.
Gene gonna get me tomorrow about that. So ML and I and a bunch of guys every Saturday we go and you guys see it on Facebook. If you're my friend on Facebook, if you're not my friend on Facebook, I would strongly suggest that you send me a friend request. And we take pictures because a bunch of us meet every Saturday at Luby's and we talk over what the Lord's doing in our lives and what's happening in our jobs. And we talk over world politics. We talk about everything. I think we cover everything, don't we, Mel? And we pray for our friends. And if you guys, you know what, this is the coolest thing. And Emil, I told you that Gene was with us. He's listening in, right? TQ's probably out there too.
Yeah, we
But
probably got a whole bunch of them listening in, Foster.
I always got to give a shout out to our buddies, and we appreciate you guys. And Tiffany Paisley says, Foster, I'll send you some more material. Apparently, Dana, I didn't score too high on that last joke. Guys, I want you to meet Nakaiya Walters, and Nakaiya is so cool.
Hi.
Nakaiya went to Michigan State,
That's
and
correct.
Uh-oh.
she's Sparty. And Nakaiya actually is a chem. Now she's looking for a job, guys, in quality. She is a quality executive. And what are you talking about, Foster? Nakaiya is going to figure out, you know, what that whole system needs to be. She's going to train people. She has been training in there and all that kind of thing. But you know what? If you guys need someone in quality to lead quality teams, that sort of thing, Nakaiya is your lady. And there's a lot of people that are listening to Trina Bergen. Hey, Trina Bergen. She says Nakaiya is amazing. So you guys see what's happening? See, Nakaiya has already made her splash in the water out there, Mel. And Nakaiya, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us, you know more about what you're looking for than I do.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me this morning. So, as Foster said, I am Nakaiya Walters. I have an extensive background in quality. That includes, but is not limited to me working in laboratories, also working in manufacturing environments. And I've even worked remote even prior to the pandemic, because a lot of people went remote during the pandemic, and I was remote prior to the pandemic. So autonomy is, I can do that. I have experience mitigating risks, reducing error rate. I lead teams. I've worked with different government agencies, hosting audits such as the FDA. I love developing people. I have a passion for leadership development. So I have experience with increasing the leadership pipelines. And no matter what position I am in, it's always going to be three things I bring to that role. Number one is going to be flexibility, because you always have regulations that always change. Two is integrity. Yep. Two is integrity, because that's what quality is. And number three is servant leadership. I really think it's very important to make sure I have a hand in developing my teams or helping to support my teams as well as my colleagues. So that's me. I'm Nakaiya Walters.
Yeah,
So
that
good to
is you.
meet you.
Dana
Nice to meet you
and
too.
Maz, of course, Maz is one too, but she Nakaiya is a chemist. I mean, when you look at Nakaiya's background, I want you companies to
Very
go
impressive.
and you see how to spell Nakaiya right there. You guys look up her LinkedIn profile; it'll blow you away. And John Robinson with us too, Nakaiya. He said Nakaiya is amazing.
Thank
You have
y'all.
really made
Y'all
a
making me blush
splash.
today. Thank you.
You are very impressed. Now, Nakaiya,
Yes.
now you're not I know you didn't go to school with Magic Johnson because you know Magic Johnson went to Michigan State.
Yes. I'm not quite
You're
there.
not
I'm not
quite that age.
not quite there, but I did go to Michigan State. I tell everybody when I introduce myself, I always say, I'm from Detroit, but I live in Texas. I'm not a Texan, but I am from Detroit. So I went to
I,
Michigan State for undergrad, and I went to Wayne State for grad school. I got my master's in
oh yeah.
biomedical engineering, and I'm working on my second master's, hopefully my final, and that also is from Michigan State as well.
Now our Maz is in biomedical engineering as well. So she had to put a little plug in the chat for you there.
Okay,
And
me and Miss will definitely become
yeah,
friends.
you guys should. You absolutely. Yeah, you
That'd
guys
be
definitely
great.
need to do that. Maz, you know how to spell her name, so go find her. You guys connect on LinkedIn. Biochemical engineering. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
We got
man,
all these
you the
smart
bomb.
people. We got all these smart people around us. And Mel, I don't know if they got those kind of jobs in the federal government, but it's a thought.
Actually, I found one on the website and it closes today, so I'm gonna apply.
Oh, did you hear that,
Oh,
Mel?
Yep, it
I,
closes
I'm
today.
listening. I'm listening to her. I wish her all the luck in the world. But if you don't get it this time, check with me next time. We'll see what you're doing wrong.
All right, I will do that.
That's pretty cool. Well, I guess they would. I
Wow.
mean, the federal government's just like anywhere else. It just operates a little bit differently. Tiffany
Mhm.
Paisley says, "I'm sold on you being amazing, Nakaya."
Thank you,
So,
Tiffany.
Nakai, do you have target companies, or are there certain places that you're excited about? Because I am the job father, and I've got connections and
Yes,
relationships.
I know you got connections everywhere, Foster. So I had been looking at. My thing was before I even tell what I was looking at, I wanted to try to see if I can transition into quality engineering. So a lot
Okay.
of the positions I was looking at were with a lot of government contractors. So you have your Bells and your Lockheeds and things like that.
All right.
Some of the contractors were in aerospace, and so I looked at some of those companies as well, such as Collins Aerospace and things like that. So for
Oh,
me, I'm looking at anybody who wants to bring my quality skills and allow me to just impact you as best I can. That's where I'm trying to go.
Mm.
so am I to understand? And I'm thinking. My dad told me never to assume anything, but you would be a person that will go in and set up a whole system for a company, figure out where those quality needs are, and you could
Yes,
engineer the whole system, right?
absolutely. And I've done that before. It's a lot that goes into setting up quality systems. You want to make sure that you have good quality systems, and that's the foundation of what you have going on at your facility, your
Right.
organization, whatever it is. And so I have that experience, but that's exactly what I would do. I would come in, set those systems up, and then make sure that everything after that goes according to plan.
Companies that make widgets, companies that have
Which
products, you
Yes,
know, those kind of things, guys. You guys have to, if you're salespeople, and we know this is happening, your salespeople are out there selling your products, selling your services, all of this sort of thing. You know what? You have a specific need, and that quality of that you're buying uh, would be something that Nakaya would set up and engineer to make sure that you guys are getting what you were sold.
yes.
That,
And to
that's what
your
I think.
point, I've been involved in quality all the way through. So a lot of what I've done is quality assurance,
Uh
not
huh.
as much quality control, but I'm very capable of that. So, setting up the systems, being a part of making sure your final product goes out and it's okay and it should be within, your specific specs. I'm able to do all of that. And for Mez, I can't leave DFW right now, unfortunately. But I can travel all day long.
Yeah, you can travel there. Now, Nakaya,
Yes.
you weren't in the armed forces, were you, or was that your husband?
No, my stepdad was, but
That
I have not been.
okay. There's something I have had conversation with you, and then for some reason I thought that you were in arms.
No,
Somebody in your family was in arms. My dad was in armed service. So
my
anyway,
stepdad was in the Navy.
oh, naval guy.
Yeah.
ML was Air Force. He took the easy route. I'm kidding.
Be careful, Foster. Be careful. Hey, one quick thing for Mr. Walter.
Yeah,
I know you say you're not able to leave the area right now. Have you
Yes.
considered applying for a job with the federal government and working remote? You can work right from home.
Absolutely, I have.
That's
So
great.
the one job I saw
yeah.
that closes today is with the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And so I'm gonna apply to that one today. But I usually go in and kind of look and see. Y'all have one other one that's in the area, but if it's remote, I'm on top of it. But it was two quality positions that I saw that I'm gonna apply for. But both of them were in the DFW area, and I didn't see anything else that was remote. But I'm definitely open to remote as well.
Sounds good.
Nakai, is there
Yes.
my question is there uh a favorite area? Is there an industry or something that you really enjoy that seems to fit your profile, your interests, that fit you better?
Yeah.
I will not say it's a favorite, but I can tell you a lot of my experience has been in healthcare companies
Uh-huh.
or businesses that support healthcare companies. So that's where I guess you want to say I grew up at, especially labs that support those kind of environments.
Right.
But I don't want to use the term where people are like, "Oh, I'm industry agnostic." I don't want to say that, but I love being challenged. So if there is an opportunity in an industry that I have not been in, I am open to that as well because I feel like I have a lot to contribute.
Could you share with us some of the titles of the of positions you would be,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
what types of roles you are targeting? So that would help the
Absolutely.
individuals listening. If you could share some titles that qualify you and that would be best fitted to what you're looking for and your
Absolutely.
skills.
Thank you. So I am interested in quality engineer positions, quality manager, associate director of quality,
Okay.
quality specialist, senior quality and operations specialist. To Trina's point, I do
You,
have my
or
ASQ
you
CQI.
do have an ASQ, don't you?
Yeah, but it's a CQIA certification, so I do
Oh my
have
God.
that. And I think a lot of times what tricks you up with quality is that if quality is not in the name, people think that you can't do it, and that's not the case either. There are some project management positions even that focus on quality as well. So as long as that's in that description, I'm very capable of doing those kind of roles because I managed projects in my previous positions, but that just wasn't in my actual job title.
Okay.
Makes
I
sense.
I'm not gonna bust some of these people out, but I invited some people. I used to work at Raytheon,
Okay.
Nakaiya, and I invited a couple of folks that I know at Raytheon to listen to the show today. They're probably back there. If you guys have questions, put it in the chat. NASA actually is with us as well. I got a buddy there that I worked with actually, and uh, I think that there are some opportunities out there that you probably never or companies never even thought of that you could hire a Nakaiya to come in and build a system for you. So there's Mez was trying to be funny a while ago, and I was making fun of the Air Force as being the lighter end of the thing, and she said, "Oh, it's the chair force."
Oh my, that's funny.
So
That
I've
is
known
funny.
ML a long time. I can poke fun at him. One of my favorite things to do is poke fun at ML because he can take it. ML's one of the best guys on this planet that I know. So okay, let's get back
Hey,
to Kaya's quality. Obviously, you are quite a quality person. You got all of these people that are
I know
tuned
they're
into this
making me
show.
blush. They all
I
people
know.
that be shouting me out. I see you, John. Hi, John. Hi, Trina. Hi, Jennifer. Hey,
Tom is there. Oh my goodness, you got some support today, Nakaya, and companies that are listening. Those, especially those companies that I invited to listen to Nakaya. You guys see what's happening. This is the type of person that Nakaiya is. These are the type of people, these are the type of seekers that are in the network. And Dana and I, you're very vetted to be on this show. We really, really bring the best on this show. Trina
Yeah.
Bergen, I'm glad that you're with us because I know you're buddies with Nakaiya. And hey, this these are the kind of endorsements, guys, companies that you want to see in the people that you hire. I've been one of you guys for a long time, so I like to
Yeah.
try to share. Nakaiya, where do
Yes.
you live?
I live in Fort Worth.
Okay.
Awesome. And Nakaiya, I would like to kind of find out. So I always love to give candidates that are wonderful and vetted, just like you, that have the Jobfather stamp of approval.
Yes.
Once they come on the show, an opportunity to kind of set yourself apart. And I always ask this question, and I think it's meaningful because it really personalizes someone to our listeners.
Okay.
But could you share with me, in your mind, when you think about the types of roles that you're applying to, what your previous work histories look like, what you're passionate about, what sets you apart from other job seekers that should automatically bump you up to the top of that hiring managers list?
Michigan State? No, I'm kidding.
Of course, in Detroit. Hello. What sets me apart is a lot of what I do is not for me. So what I mean by that is I feel so proud to be able to work with people. And even if, since I've been in my job search journey, I've worked with a lot of people at South Lake Focus Group. And I feel like being able to help somebody else is what's most important in everything we do. So for me, my leadership style is transformational. I like to push people out their comfort zone. I encourage them to do things that you haven't done before. I encourage people to see things that maybe you didn't know was there. And so for me, I think it's very important that I am that person and I push that out to other people. So, outside of, I could tell you all the degrees I have, and that's not really it. For me, everything that I do is important. And as far as like helping somebody else, I really get satisfaction out of that. So if you want somebody, you want a leader that's on your team and somebody that you know is going to develop your team and set them apart from others, I would be the way that you would.
And I so appreciate you sharing this because this is what I'm talking about. We can look at resumes and yes, you're extremely qualified, but then so the hard skills are there, right? But the soft skills are a big part of what hiring leaders and recruiting or talent acquisition professionals are looking for. What is this person's character? What are their communication skills? How do they treat other people? And I love that you took a minute to set yourself apart and say, listen, I invest in my team. I grow and mold people. I'm collaborative. I care. And that is important. You can teach people a lot of hard skills, not all of them, but a lot of them. But it's harder to teach people soft skills, right? It's harder to teach people how do you care? How do you go about molding other people? How do you go about investing in your team and trying to bring them up and take them to the next level? How do you go about accountability? How do you go about being a person of your word, right?
Very much so.
I see that Trina and Maz are having a good conversation because I wanted to ask you if you knew about North Texas Lead, but
I
obviously,
am North Texas Lead endorsed. I got endorsed in August of last year.
All right, Gina, did you hear that? Gina comes on our show sometimes, and Sonia Scott does as well.
I love Sonia. She's fantastic.
Everybody loves Sonia. Everybody loves. Oh my God, Sonia is the best.
She is.
Hopefully, she may be listening to us today. So, Nakaiya, what is your email address? So people can get in contact with you?
So my email is very long. So I'm gonna start with my LinkedIn and then work my way to my email because my email is my maiden name. My last name is very long. So on LinkedIn, I am Nakaiya Walters. It's Nakaiya Walters. That's it. Nothing fancy. You'll see my little picture, my little bitty hair, so you know it's me. And I have my green banner around my face.
You got your Michigan State green?
Well, I always have to have some green somewhere. It's very important. Even my high school colors was green and white too. So that should tell you something. It's deeply rooted.
Oh, really?
Very deeply rooted. Yes.
Let's see. My third college was University of North Texas State when I went, and we're green and white as well.
Green and white is the way to
These
go. Don't
things are
confuse
important, you
us with
guys.
no other school in Michigan. Do not confuse us. That is not cool because you make jokes, Foster. Don't confuse us.
I
There.
know, I know. I didn't say nothing about maize and blue. I didn't say. Ooh, I just
There's
guess
no, it's
that
no
was
point in
head.
mentioning them. No point in them.
Foster just slipped that one in. That was
I know.
shady.
Rude.
That was shady. Rude.
That slipped out. You guys know how I'm about this college stuff. Here, let me help you with my little shirt thing.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Okay,
Nobody can
I
see
like.
that, Foster.
I
Nobody wants
love.
to see
I
that.
participated in college sports. I love college sports. So, yeah. So, Nakaiya,
Yes.
what city is Michigan State in?
East
It's
Lansing.
East Lansing. That's right. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When I was now, Kathy Constanbader is probably listening. She was my boss at Verizon. We had a whole program set up. We call it the Fast Track Management Program at Verizon, and it's still there. And the majority of the people that we targeted were graduates from Michigan State. So I became a pretty heavy Sparty fan.
Because they're good people. That's why.
Is that what it is?
That's
And I've
exactly what
never
it is.
been, even though it was part of my territory, I never did get a chance to go to Detroit. I heard they got good food in Detroit, so
We have good everything. Good
we're gonna have to
people.
talk about
Hello.
that. Good people, good
Yes.
people. I love it. So, okay, you are the only person that I know that does what you do in the way that you do it,
Mhm.
Nakaiya, in the whole network. So I'm really really appreciative that you came on the show today
Thank
because
you for
there are
having
a number of people obviously that are supporting you, but there are a number of companies that I thought I invited to the show today to listen. So hopefully
me.
you will get a call after you. I'm putting you guys on blast out there, you guys that I invited. I see George Knight is with us. Do you know George Knight? I bet you do.
I'm not sure. I have to look. I don't think so.
George, you don't know Nakaiya? Okay, I'm not doing my job. We are South Lake Focus Group in Frisco,
Or I
connected.
might, and
You
I just got
might.
to see his face.
Oh, once you meet George, you won't forget George. George been my friend. I bet you I've known George for 20, probably 20 plus years. There he says, howdy, sure. Okay, so Nakaiya,
Yes.
being a quality person,
Hmm.
have you ever been involved in in okay, every time I think of services, I think of healthcare services. Have you been involved in healthcare services before?
Not healthcare
Providing
services.
quality in that?
I haven't directly been involved in healthcare services. The companies that I've worked for have been healthcare companies. So a lot of, I've been involved in pharmaceuticals that are produced by those companies.
Uh-huh.
I have even, as a chemist, I've tested them. I've worked in other environments where we produce, collected plasma that produced a lot of those medications for those healthcare
Right.
companies. But as far as like a daily connection, no, not directly, always indirect.
Okay. Now, do you know Nigel Fisher? That's another one of me and Dana's buddies that's usually on this show with us quite a bit.
I
Have you
have
met
seen
Nigel?
her.
Nigel's
I have
great.
not personally met her. I have. So the one time I tried to connect her via LinkedIn, I
Uh-huh.
think everybody in the world was trying to connect with her, and it would not
Yeah.
let me connect to her. But she is amazing. I got a
Oh
girl
my
crush on her. I
goodness.
just want you to know that she's fantastic.
Wow, girl crush. Okay. I'm learning more as I do this show, boy. I learn more and more each day. Nigel, if you're listening, I'm going to make sure that you and Nakaiya meet. You guys have the moxie. You guys have the that gift from God is where I know that's where it's from. Marcela Chacon. Good morning, Marcela.
Hey,
Wow, we
Marcella.
love
Yeah,
all the positive vibes.
Marcella.
Marcella says, I love all the positive vibes I'm getting from this radio show. Marcella, we are
Oh,
here every Friday. Me and Dana and
we
Mez
love it.
are here every Friday. We have fun on this show. It's just like at the groups.
Yes, man.
We sit down, we get to know each other, and we have
Yes.
fun. Today, Marcella, I don't know if you just joined us, but our other guest, the first part of the show was ML Washington, and he
ML's
is
amazing.
he really is.
And I'm
He's my
sorry I
friend.
said MJ. Goodness gracious.
Oh, you did say
That's
MJ.
okay. We still love you, Dana. No problem.
Okay, thank you, ML. Thanks
ML
for
might
not
even know
firing
Michael
me.
Jordan. I don't know.
I know. Well, hey, take it. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. So that is Marcella, it's good to have you. It was good to meet you yesterday at South Lake Focus Group. Oh, I hear music, guys. It is time for us to go away. Y'all hire Nakaiya and y'all pay her big money.
Yeah.
Please do.
And
I
we'll
welcome
see,
all the money.
we'll see you guys
All the
next
money.
Friday.
Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godly. This is the voice of
Thank you, y'all.
Joco Community Radio.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing